Bet you guessed it. Oh my gosh, hey, Shanti coming at you. Hi, cheers. This is just straight up warm water. Mm, it's so good. It's so cozy. Hi, are you cozy? Are you good? I sure as fuck hope so. Karen syndrome. I asked my daughter, I was like, man, what should I do my next episode on? She's like, Karen's. And she's a teeny tiny, but she's so funny and so smart. And so today we're going to talk about Karen's, the cause and the cure for Karen syndrome. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. Now, where, where to begin? There's a few different types of Karens in the world, and today I think I want to focus on the temper tantrum Karen. Yeah, she's a good one. All right, so we all know we all don't love the Karen, right? Although the hair, am I right? Okay. What causes Karen syndrome, specifically temper tantrum Karen syndrome? And yes, as we go down the list, some of these things might be hitting a little close to home. And you know what you do? You take accountability and responsibility for your own experience, honey, because this is my channel. And if something I say or do offends you, you're welcome. Because this is my channel. There's a bazillion other YouTubers out there. Go watch them, okay? Or stick around, hey, because bitch squad, you know who you are. Mwah. All right, what causes the temper tantrum, Karen? Well, first off, we'll go into the emotional health piece of it. When we have emotional repression, okay, what's going to happen when we get triggered, meaning there's something that happens that kind of cracks open the door in order for the hostage backlogged emotions to see the light at the end of the tunnel and then like bum rush the gates for freedom. Okay, that's what's happening during most adult temper tantrums. Okay, now children get accused of having temper tantrums all the time, but that's a different story, especially for the youngsters. Okay, that's like regulatory. That is, and there's so much that goes on in one of those moments. It's actually like really beneficial in regards to like their development. But again, that's like case sensitive. That's just like, that was a blanket statement. We all can agree that like, a case by case assessment, if we really want to get into that, is required. Okay. But right now, when we're talking about the adult temper tantrum, when we're talking about Karen syndrome, okay, is we're looking at repressed emotion getting triggered in order to all flood out, instead of someone who has a very healthy relationship with emotional expression, who has unpacked and reorganized, realchemized the hoarded emotions into vital life force energy to be projected from whatever chakra point, or we could call it in whatever creative way that healthy person would like to express themselves in a very in command type of way, right? When something might go down that would then, trigger said temper tantrum Karen, right? So the Karen having the temper tantrum, that is the telltale sign that that person is, some people would say holding on to trauma. That sentiment gets tossed around so much, especially in the spiritual scene and in the healing art scene, where it's almost at this point where it's like an excuse, and there's so much space being held for someone who's experienced trauma. I'm giggling not because it's someone who's experienced trauma, but I'm giggling at like the just like the shallow understanding in the shallow way that so often I see this type of stuff being handled. As I'm giggling at that, it's just like, oh my God, are you triggered? That's like a trauma response. Let me hold space for that. And I'm here to say, like, yo, take some responsibility for your own shit. Take accountability. Act like a fucking adult. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean shove down more emotion, all right? But it does mean, like, okay, let's do some self-psychology. Maybe I'm the fucking Karen who's having a temper tantrum out in the world. Whoa, I need to identify the fact that, like, I got some backlog that needs to be addressed, unpacked, re-alchemized, reorganized. So the next time I'm out in the world and someone does something or something happens that I don't like, I don't take that opportunity to unleash lifetimes of repressed emotion on that person, on that circumstance, in that place. Okay? Okay. So that might be you. That might be me. It's not me, but it has been, but I do the fucking work, so it's not me. All right? Now, this is different than, like, let's say you want to hold a standard, right? Like, hey, person, place, or thing, that's not a match for me. I'm not asking you to change, but I'm no longer going to stick around for XYZ. All that is a match to the standard that I'm holding, come on down. And that happens by default, by law of attraction, right? That happens by default. You don't necessarily have to orchestrate that. But oftentimes, you know, when you're holding a standard, it is important to identify what's not a match and then state what's not a match in order to extend the invitation for the other people, places, and things that are currently not a match to potentially, you know, fucking reassess their situation and then make a decision from there, right? But we cannot make another person change for us in order to feel better. And so that's another aspect of the Karen syndrome, especially the temper tantrum situation. Karen syndrome is, I want you to change for me so I feel better. And to that I say, good fucking luck. It's not gonna fucking happen. Number one, universal mirror. There's an aspect of you being reflected to you in that particular dynamic. Sometimes it means, like, look, this person is behaving exactly how you behave, either to someone else or yourself, or this is a cycle that you're creating for yourself of people, places, and things that act in this particular way that you have not raised a standard about. So here's an opportunity to raise a standard, not have a fucking temper tantrum. And how do you know the difference? Now, of course, you can express yourself, right? But the difference between expressing yourself in a responsible way and having a temper tantrum is this, okay? Demanding other people to change for you in order for you to feel better. That is a temper tantrum. Stating, this isn't a match for me. Peace out. I'm going to go change over here. That's not a temper tantrum. That's raising a standard. And sometimes raising a standard can be heated, okay? Especially if maybe you're working with, the unpack situation, because unpacking kind of takes time and there's some, definite like growing pains and, step-by-step process to kind of get your footing around what it is to be emotionally healthy and responsible out in the world as a human, okay? All right, so we have emotional repression, and then we have like this demanding of people, places, and things to change for you, for whoever the Karen is, in order for them to feel better. Hats off! Good luck! Yeah, none of that's working. None of that is supporting your mission here on this planet, like your actual mission, why you signed up to this life. And then there's the concept to consider that, maybe there's just some Karens out there that are non-playable characters and they might not have a mission other than providing contrast for those of us that have really hefty fucking soul missions, soul contracts on this planet, all right? So there's that to consider as well. Thank you, NPCs. We wouldn't be here without you. Cheers. So now, those are some of the causes, okay? Actually, you know what? I said that. Let me go over one more. The yeses and the nos is another real big cause of Karen syndrome. Another way to look at that is people pleasing, right? I'm going to say yes to the things that I really mean no to. I'm going to say no to the things that I actually mean yes and desire. I mean, it's a whole fuckery, that whole situation, right? And, you know, even when you're like, you know, you can muscle test yourself, or when you're muscle testing a client and it's somebody who has been consistently saying yes to the no's and no's to the yeses, their bodies don't even know how to fucking function properly. Like, it's really, really wild, right? So that's another cause, and, you know, and that's an invitation for some self fucking assessment. You know, how often are you saying yes when you mean no, and no when you mean yes? Okay. And that goes into like relationships with desire, and, you know, what the heart chakra is doing, and the, you know, is the heart projection lighting the way, and then the mind and the strategy follows, or is it all fucking strategy and you just fucking pray to whatever that the heart will follow, and somehow you feel fulfilled because, honey, you might be a Karen from Karen Town. All right, now the cure. Oh, and I have a fuzz in my water. Let's just pluck. It might be a cat hair. Let's just pluck that out. All right, the cure. Friday, I'm in love. Yes, I went there. Yes, I have moments of being cringy, as my daughter says, stop being cringy, Mom. And to that I say, I cannot. Have you met me? I literally cannot. Okay. Emotional health. Get yourself a guide like me, who specializes in emotional health and can teach you step-by-step ways how to express your ass emotionally in a very responsible way. Because exercise isn't going to cut it, okay? Exercise is healthy. Exercise can affect your nervous system in a beneficial way. Absolutely. Exercise can also affect your nervous system in a non-beneficial way, okay? Please motherfucking believe. But emotional health requires healthy emotional expression. I'll say it again. Emotional health requires healthy emotional expression. Yeah! Emotional expression, not emotional contemplation. Emotional expression. All right, so you gotta fucking unpack that shit. You set some time, you get a guide, you scream and cry, and then you end on a yes, 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 right? So you dive deep and then you clean her back up, and then you dive deep and you clean her back up, all right? That's like very, you know, there's a lot more to it, but it is that kind of simple. It can't be that simple, right? Right, emotional health, get that shit dialed. Unpack the fucking hoarded house of emotions so you're not having a temper tantrum if some shit hits the fucking fan and you get triggered, all right? And then you can just handle what's going down in the moment like a responsible motherfucker, because I know you are. I know it's possible, because bitch squad, hello, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't possible, okay? Please believe. All right, so emotional motherfucking health. Unpack so you can just operate from a present, clean, and clear space. All right. Number 2, are we numbering? I'm numbering. I started numbering. Okay, we're at number 2. Identify your standards. Identify your standards. Now, this is tricky, especially if you're a person who's been saying yes when you mean no and no when you mean yes. All right. So that actually might be number 2, and raising your standards and sticking to them might be number 3. A little self-assessment on your part is required. But yeah, hold a standard. And now when you have your emotional health dialed, you become kind of proficient, where it's like, okay, I can go into the depths of these emotions that I've previously been afraid to feel. And I know that there's a recovery. I know that there's an upswing. I know that the deeper I go, the higher I can rise into joy, into love, into ecstasy, okay? Heaven on earth, right? So when you hold a standard, and maybe some people, places, and things kind of fall to the wayside by default when law of attraction, like attract likes, take over, because when you stick to a standard, things that aren't a match to that standard are going to fall to the wayside in order to what? Create space for the new people, the new places, the new things, and the new circumstances, all right? So now, Will there be a grieving process? Yes. And you want to grieve in a very healthy and responsible way. But otherwise, if you're not, then you're just hoarding more emotions, and then fucking here comes Karen. Okay? Okay. All right. And then going into number 3, possibly 2, we don't know. All right? We don't know. Are you saying yes when you mean no, and no when you mean yes? Because that is a big, messy ball of fucking wax. There's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot of kriyas and mantras that I would pair with this particular one. Actually, let's go back to number 2/3, which is holding your standard. Ong Sung Waheguru is kind of like this, contract clear type of a situation. I release you, here we go. Just kidding. Rewind, start over. Ong Sung Waheguru is a really, really, really good one. Another one that's very simple that we've worked with before, and again, I'm going to get into more of the, the kriyas, my favorite fucking Kundalini yoga stuff that I bring to my own table personally and for my clients, is just Satnama. Within the Satnam, we break it down into 4 parts, and that highlights the elements that is us, our elemental makeup within and without, the same elemental makeup of this fucking planet. Okay? Satnama. It's a very simple, easy one to kind of override any weird mental fuckery, especially when you're like, I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no, and I'm going to no, and I'm going to say yes. Just like stop, drop, and Satnama. 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 You can say it out loud. You mentally chant it very, very loud, all right? Just override the mental fuckery that leads into Karen syndrome, temper tantrum edition. All right. All right. So, in order to really get into more specifics, if you're somebody who is a Karen or knows a Karen, sometimes a sesh is really required because there can be some intricacies. But this is a good dip of the toe, and self-assess. It's okay if you're the Karen. That's okay. But here's the thing. Behaviors are only unconscious or subconscious until they're not. And after that point, it's a fucking choice. So once you've identified that you're having temper tantrums and you might be the Karen, honey, it doesn't matter what happened in your fucking past. You're choosing to behave this way. And now here are some tools to help you make healthier choices, because you need to do the thing, have the tools in order to create a new neural pathway to identify, oh my God, there's a different option. Because I get, even when it's conscious, it's like, well, yeah, I'm consciously making this choice and that sucks, but I don't see another fucking choice. Well, here's some new choices. Satnama, Satnama. Just stop, just pause, just take a fucking breath. I made a short about this breath, but I'll do it here too. If you're fucking riled up, breathe long and deep out of your left nostril. I got the lung capacity of a pro fucking athlete. Please believe that's the fucking yogi. Hey, yo. All right, so you're going to breathe long and deep through your left nostril. That's my invitation to you. Take it or fucking leave it, all right? But really watch this. Watch this a few fucking times, because there's some nuggets of gold that can save you so much turmoil and help you get on that path that you're meant to be on in order to live your best life. As someone who is very emotionally responsible, and just overall a badass motherfucker. Okay, because bitch squad, you're here. There's no coinky-dink that you're watching this. You have a phenomenal mission that's so vitally important to handle in this life. So don't let Karen syndrome fucking slow you down. And if you have Karens in your life, maybe it's time to assess the standards. Okay? Can I get a hell yeah? Cheers, bitch. Cheers. There you go. It's a party now. All right, everyone. Satnam. Fuck yes. So much love to you all. See you soon.